Have you ever watched a parent quietly give up on something their child had been dreaming about, because they simply couldn't afford it? Imagine standing in a bakery, hearing a mother whisper, "I'm sorry, maybe next year," while her little boy smiled through heartbreak, pretending he wasn't disappointed. Most people would have looked away. One man didn't. And what happened next changed 3 lives forever. Welcome back to the channel, where we share unforgettable stories about kindness, hope, and the extraordinary things ordinary people can do. If stories that restore your faith in humanity mean something to you, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another inspiring story. We'd also love to hear from you. Before we begin, let us know in the comments, which country are you watching from? Now, settle in, because today's story is one you'll remember long after it ends. The warm smell of fresh bread and vanilla frosting filled the little neighborhood bakery as people drifted in and out on a quiet Saturday morning. Behind the glass display sat rows of beautifully decorated cakes, each one waiting to become part of someone's celebration. At the counter stood a woman in her early 30s. She looked exhausted. Not the kind of tired that comes from missing a night's sleep, but the kind that settles into someone's shoulders after months of carrying the weight of the world alone. Her name was Emily. Beside her stood her 7-year-old son, Noah. Noah's eyes sparkled as he pointed toward a blue birthday cake decorated with tiny stars and a smiling astronaut. "Mom, that's the one," he whispered with a grin. "It looks just like the picture I drew." Emily smiled back, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. The baker placed the cake carefully on the counter. "I've made a few final touches," she said warmly. "Your little astronaut is ready for his big day." Emily reached into her purse. She searched one pocket. Then another. Her breathing slowed. She counted the bills once. Then twice. Her fingers began to shake. I'm so sorry," she said quietly. "There must be some mistake." She looked at the total again. "I thought I had enough." Noah looked up at her. "It's okay, Mom." She forced another smile. "Can you cancel the order?" The words barely escaped her lips. The baker hesitated. "I'm sorry," she replied gently. "I wish I could lower the price, but everything was made specially for today." Emily nodded. "I understand." She turned toward Noah. "We'll make pancakes instead." Noah smiled bravely. "I love pancakes. But children rarely hide disappointment as well as they think they do." Standing a few feet away with a cup of coffee in his hand was Daniel. He hadn't meant to overhear. He had stopped by for breakfast after finishing his overnight shift as a paramedic. Life hadn't been easy for Daniel either. 3 years earlier, he had lost his wife to cancer. Since then, he had been raising his 9-year-old daughter, Lily, by himself. He knew exactly what it meant to watch a child pretend everything was okay just to protect a parent. And Noah's smile reminded him painfully of Lily's. Daniel watched Emily gently take her son's hand. They had almost reached the door. Then he heard Noah whisper, "Mom, it's okay if I don't have a birthday this year." Emily stopped walking. For a second, she couldn't speak. She squeezed his tiny hand tighter. That sentence broke something inside Daniel. Without thinking twice, he walked to the counter. "I'd like to pay for the cake." The baker smiled. "You don't have to." "I know," Daniel replied softly. "But I'd like to." The baker nodded. Moments later, she called out, "Excuse me." Emily turned around. "You forgot your cake." Confused, she frowned. "I canceled it." The baker smiled through misty eyes. "No." She glanced toward Daniel. "Someone already paid for it." Emily stared in disbelief. "No. I can't accept that." Daniel stepped forward. "It's okay." She shook her head immediately. I don't even know you. You don't have to. Silence filled the bakery. Finally Noah looked at Daniel. Really? Daniel smiled. Every birthday deserves a cake. Noah ran over and hugged him before anyone could stop him. Daniel wasn't prepared for that. He simply wrapped one arm around the little boy and smiled. Emily wiped away tears she had tried so hard to hide. Thank you, she whispered. You have no idea what this means. Daniel simply replied. Actually, I think I do. Emily invited him to Noah's birthday later that afternoon. At first he politely declined. But Noah insisted. You have to come. Even Lily, who had been waiting outside in the car, encouraged her father. Come on, Dad. We never do anything fun anymore. Daniel laughed. Maybe it was time. The birthday party wasn't anything extravagant. A few balloons. Homemade decorations. Paper plates. Neighbors who genuinely cared. Yet somehow, it felt richer than celebrations held in expensive banquet halls. When Noah saw the cake arrive, his face lit up brighter than the candles sitting on top of it. For a little while, everyone forgot about money. They simply celebrated love. As the evening wound down, Daniel noticed framed photographs sitting on a shelf. One picture caught his attention. Emily noticed him looking. My husband. She smiled sadly. He passed away 2 years ago. Daniel lowered his eyes. So did my wife. Their conversation became quieter. More honest. For the first time in years, both of them spoke openly about grief without feeling judged. Weeks passed. Then months. Daniel and Lily began stopping by Emily's house every Saturday. Sometimes they shared dinner. Sometimes they helped Noah with homework. Sometimes they simply sat together laughing over board games. Slowly, their broken pieces began fitting together. Not because either family was searching for someone to replace the people they had lost, but because healing often begins with people willing to sit beside our pain instead of trying to erase it. One snowy December evening, Noah asked a question that left the room completely silent. Mr. Daniel. Yes? Do you think families can grow twice? Daniel looked toward Emily. She smiled through tears. I think they can. Lily reached over and held Noah's hand. I think ours just did. Nearly a year after that unforgettable day in the bakery, Daniel walked back through the same doors. The baker recognized him instantly. This time, she laughed. What can I get for you? Daniel smiled. The biggest birthday cake you can make. For Noah? He nodded. And add one more name. Lily. The baker looked surprised. Joint birthday? Daniel smiled. Actually. He reached into his pocket and revealed a small velvet ring box. I'm proposing to Emily tonight. The baker covered her mouth. I've been waiting for this day. That evening, surrounded by balloons, laughter, and the same blue stars Noah had loved a year before, Daniel knelt on one knee. Emily burst into tears before he even finished asking. She said yes. The children cheered louder than anyone else. Months later, when friends asked Daniel when his life changed, they expected him to mention the proposal. Or the wedding. Instead, he smiled and said, it started with a birthday cake I almost didn't buy. Because sometimes the smallest act of kindness becomes the beginning of someone else's miracle. You never truly know what battle another person is fighting. A simple gesture, a few compassionate words, or a decision to help without expecting anything in return can echo through generations. That little cake wasn't just dessert. It became hope. It became healing. It became family. And maybe that's the greatest reminder of all, that generosity isn't measured by how much we give, but by the love behind it. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who could use a reminder that kindness still exists in this world. We'd also love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever experienced a stranger's kindness that changed your life? Thank you for watching, and until next time, remember that even the smallest act of compassion can become someone else's greatest blessing.